everybody, and welcome to Friends and Finances podcast. I'm Teresa Griffith with First South Financial, over 20 years of personal finance experience, and I am your host today. So today we're going to be diving into what it takes to buy your first home. And I have a very special guest with me today, Jenny Breaux. She is a mortgage specialist with over a decade of experience in the mortgage industry. And Jenny is also, in addition to being a mortgage loan officer, she's on the board of the Mortgage Bankers of Memphis and also part of the Memphis Area Association of Realtors affiliate board. So she knows her stuff when it comes to home buying and home lending. So welcome.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Good.
I'm excited to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is helping people with the big step of home ownership.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to cover the basics, like where to start, what to expect during the process, and how to avoid common mistakes.
Right. There's some pitfalls.
Definitely. So whether you're just beginning the home buying process, you're starting to buy the books or starting to look at things, or you're already hunting, this episode is going to give you some good insights and tips. So let's just jump in.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Jenny, for somebody who's never bought a home before, what do you think is the first step they should take?
First step is getting pre-approved, which is coming to a lender. And that's a big step because it's going to tell you how much house you can afford. It's also going to let the seller know that you're a really serious person and that you want to buy a house because you've already got the finance part all set up. And it gives you a clear budget that you can work with, and it helps you and your loan officer helps you figure out what would be a comfortable price for you to pay every single month. So I think that that's going to be the biggest thing. And then in doing that, also finding that trusted lender that's going to help walk you through the path of ownership. I think that's the biggest thing. So that pre-approval is really important.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the term pre-approval. Now, I know that there is documentation that you can get from your lender that's going to help you in that purchasing process. You can give it to your real estate agent, and they can give it to the homeowner, right?
Yeah.
It shows. But I know there's differences in what you can request. So there's a pre-qualification, and a pre-approval.
Right.
So can you walk us through what the differences are?
Sure, absolutely. So a pre-qualification is different than a pre-approval because the pre-qualification is just going to be stated. So stated income, stated assets, stated liabilities.
So is that like when I walk into your office and I say, I make $100,000 a year and I want to get approved for such and such house because I want to buy that house. And then you're not going to be able to pre-approve me just based on that, right?
Well, that wouldn't be a pre-approval,
right.
So that'd be a pre-qualification. So pre-qualification, like I said, is just going to be these stated things. Nothing's going to be verified. It is just what you tell me, and then I tell you what you can afford. And a pre-approval goes a step further. We're going to make sure that we verify the income. We're going to make sure that we verify your liabilities. We're going to make sure your employment length and all those things are done. So in other words, we've already done most of the hard work on the front end. So when a realtor or a seller, when you get that letter that says pre-approval, you know, or you have a better idea that this person is really going to get to the end of the line. So a pre-approval is a lot stronger than a pre-qualification.
So pre-qualification is really doesn't amount to as much, but the pre-approval is what is.
Honestly, I haven't done a pre-qualification in probably 5 years because it looks bad on the lender because that maybe is not understood that it was just a pre-qualification, and it really doesn't set your client or your member up for success anyway.
Right.
So the pre-approval is going to be a better way to go through if the member knows that they have some problems that maybe they already are aware that doesn't allow them to get a pre-approval, and they're just kind of wanting to find themselves on the map, generally speaking, then we can kind of work on a pre-qualification, but there won't be a letter that goes out for that.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. So let's say I've done my homework and I know that the house I want can't exceed $350,000.
Okay.
But I come to you for pre-qualification and you pre-approve me for $400,000.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to spend $400. I can only spend $350 because I know that's the amount that I personally can max out at.
Okay.
So can I ask the lender to change that dollar amount in the pre-approval letter?
Yeah, that's an easy. So, but that also isn't, once you sat down with your lender and you've expressed, hey, I only want to do 350. I'm only going to write the letter for 350 because there's no reason for anybody to know that you can go to 400 if you're not willing to go up to 400. So there's no reason for the realtor to know that. There's no reason for the seller to know that. So there's no reason to have a piece of paper that says 400 if you're not willing to go there.
Yes.
Now, the one thing that you do want to take into account is that your lender has told you for every $10,000 over 350 or under 350, how much that changes in your monthly payment. Because sometimes you'll walk into a house and you say, oh, I don't want to see it because it's $360,000. But then it hits all of the things that you wanted, plus it gives you a home office and you've been working from home. And if you know that this is only going to cost you, say, $52 a month more, then it gives you the ability to walk into that house and say, is this worth $52 more a month on there? So that's a conversation that you have with your lender as well to make sure that you kind of know what that will change monthly to be able to assess the house if it's the right fit for you.
And if that's the right fit, then I can just call you and say, hey, so thanks for the letter, but can you change that to 350? Since I've already been approved for a higher amount, you can easily make that adjustment.
Yeah, but hopefully by that point, you started gathering your what I call like the realtor crew. You're going to have your realtor that's with you and then maybe the home inspector, and you're going to start getting the people to surround you that's going to help make this process easier. So a lot of times by this point, you're kind of maybe stepping out a little bit and your realtor is stepping in and saying, hey, we're negotiating and I might need a letter that says, 340, 345 and 350. And then we're kind of working on your behalf for that.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, that's easy.
Great. All right. So once somebody is pre-approved, what should they do next?
Well, like I said, they're going to get together and find their team. And their team most of the time is going to be, number one, starting off with a realtor. And the reason that you want to go to a realtor is because they've already been in the business or the game for a while, and they've already collected their circle. They've already got their home inspector. They've already got the people that, if there's a plumbing issue, if there's an electrical issue, they've already built up this team. So you're not having to go out and find all these new people. It's just a ready, set play. So the next thing is you really want to find who do you work with well? Who do you know that's in the realtor business? And maybe your lender can also give some references to you as well. So that's going to be your next thing is building up the team. Once you have your finances down, now you need to find the team that's going to help you find the house that fits for you.
Right, right. Good tips.
Yeah.
All right. So what are some common costs that maybe first-time buyers don't think about or that they just didn't know to ask? Yeah,
so the thing that I think catches most people off guard is the actual closing costs on a house. You have an additional 2 to 5% besides the down payment that is part of closing costs. Now, those are all negotiable, and that's why you want to make sure that you have a good realtor to be able to negotiate those closing costs and what's going to be pulled into the contract. But you've got to pay, for an appraisal. The appraisal is going to certify the value of the house, the collateral that you're getting a loan on. So you have to pay for that. There's also going to be a settlement agent or attorney that's going to be working and recording deeds for you. Doing the state transfer taxes is something else in Tennessee. I think a lot of people are surprised about as well. So those kind of fees, but that's another part of sitting down with the lender, getting that pre-approval, getting a mock estimate, and kind of finding out what those are going to be.
Right.
On there.
Right. Yeah. So there are no surprises.
No, we don't like surprises. One
thing that I've always heard is when you're looking for a house, save.
There's save
as much as you can because all of these things are going to come up. And if not here, it might come with repairs that you decide you're going to do for yourself as opposed to have the seller do them.
You're buying an asset, and that asset's, of course, going to have an incurred cost. And, those costs are taxes. They are homeowners insurance. they are maintenance, they are homeowner association fees. And so, but it's still an asset. And so, you've got to take care of it or the asset depreciates.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So for first-time home buyers, are there some special programs or grants maybe that are available for those first-time home buyers that might help with some of either the down payment or the closing costs?
Yeah. So there's plenty of programs. Most of them are through government, so state, county, and city type down payment assistance. There are grants floating around every now and then. You just have to time those right. Each one of them is going to have its own, I call, hurdles to jump through to get to it. And it's really, you need to be with a lender that, does know how to, navigate those and what they are available for. So there's a lot of caveats to that, but they are definitely there. You can always go to, such as the Tennessee Housing Authority. You can also go to Shelby County. If you're Shelby County, look at your county register, and find out where you're wanting to move to. And you can also look through that too as well. With, the internet these days, I mean, you really look up a lot of different things.
Yeah. And with a good lender, by the time you go through all of the telling who you are and everything, the lender can really peel a lot of that out of you.
Yeah.
Right? So that they can designate some programs.
Yeah. I mean, we're a storyteller. We're telling the story of you in a financial viewpoint. And once we get that story, then we can kind of figure out what products are going to work within that. So yeah,
like if they're a veteran or something like that.
Yeah, there's absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what are some common pitfalls or some mistakes that you've seen first-time home buyers make as they go through the process? The worst ones are the ones that they could have prevented, which was, right before closing, they needed to go get appliances. And they went to Lowe's and took out a credit card for all of the appliances in the house. Well, we're probably not closing, somebody gets into a wreck and now they wanted to go buy a car and it's right before closes. In other words, they extended or they took out some credit or another debt that wasn't calculated in the original approval process. And now it's all messed up. And they could have waited till the day after it and it would have been fine. Or even the day of.
Or even the day of
Right
later sometimes. But day after, let's keep it as possible, as far. But that's the saddest and also the biggest pitfall, I would say, that you can do. Just when you're going into a home loan, you want things to be just as steady and clean as you possibly can all the way through until you close.
And what about those that might see that home that they always wanted, and so they just think they have to get into it right away? They just make that really quick decision and don't really do their homework.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a race, right? You need it's probably the largest purchase or investment that most people will make in their lifetime, or one of the largest. So there's not a real good reason to rush it. And if you set yourself up, it'll be a lot smoother and easier, and it won't be as stressful for everyone involved. But people do rush it in. They want their wants right then, and sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
So, but definitely, if you're thinking in the next 2 years you want to buy a house, there's no reason to not go and talk to a specialist, a mortgage specialist, now. To find out, is that possible? What do I got to do in the next 2 years to get that to work?
Yeah, I think sometimes people are surprised when they say, go ahead, talk to somebody. And even if I'm 2 years away, it's yes, because they can tell you what you need to get in place, what you need to line up. They can also talk to you about budget, so that you know how much house you can afford and don't go looking at the houses that you think are in your price range, and then you find out, oh, that's $50,000 more than I can actually afford to spend. So you don't want to get your heart set on a particular house or something like that, and then get disappointed.
Absolutely, yeah.
So some great advice, Jenny. Thank you.
Good. I hope that it has been helpful. I hope it helps people, move forward into that home buying.
So tell us what is the most rewarding part of helping first-time home buyers?
Oh, I go to my closings because I love to see the closing. And on my phone, you can set your pictures or whatever. Mine are all different pictures of the houses that we've closed. This is exciting. Exciting to see people get the keys. Excited to see people's, what they've worked for, to get it. And it's just, it makes you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. That smile, that excitement.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm a homeowner now.
Yeah.
For me, it was fear.
Can't be that. It can't be some of that.
So such great information. You've given our viewers so many good tips. So appreciate that. And hopefully you'll have more confidence as you are going through your own personal process and your own journey. So before we wrap up, any final words of encouragement for those that are nervous about taking that leap of homeownership?
Yeah. Just remember that it is a process and it's finding yourself on the map to homeownership. You know where you want to go. And I'm just there to help find you on that map to get you to the end of it, and get you the information to help make it a smooth, easy process. This has been a really great. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope that it gives people the confidence to reach out and find out where they are on that map.
Yeah, great. So fantastic advice. And for anybody out there who is wanting to go through that process, we will have information in our show notes. And we'll also have contact information for Jenny. So if you wanted to talk with her about anything that she mentioned today or anything else, you are certainly welcome to give her a call. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe for more tips and tools to help you negotiate the home buying process. And we will see you next time.
Bye.